big state of Haryana. And Rahul, Haryana is very important because this is really the first big, almost direct Congress versus BJP battle.
Why almost direct?
Because you've got small regional parties, but it is essentially Congress and BJP, the first big battle that India's two national parties are having since the Lok Sabha elections. So was Lok Sabha an aberration where it was 5-5 in Haryana, or will we see one of these two parties move ahead? I think that makes Haryana extremely important because it could then build up to what comes next, Maharashtra, Jharkhand, and then Delhi in a few months down the line. So I think what happens in Haryana over the next few days, and of course in the exit poll, will give us a sense of, is there an anti-incumbency mood against state governments? Is the BJP on the back foot?
BJP has also been in power now for 10 years.
Sure, but that's
in a state where it never really had much of a base. Just the fact that they've been able to govern for 10 years is by itself quite remarkable. This is not like a Gujarat or a Madhya Pradesh or a Rajasthan, which is a core BJP area. In a state where there are fairly new, powerful entrants. They were fringe players before this.
Sure. With one caveat, Rahul. Remember last time they had to form a government by taking the support of a regional party, the JJP. So a party which was dominant in 2014, by 2019 took the support of a regional party.
No, the point I'm making is some states are core BJP states. Like a Gujarat, Rajasthan, or Madhya Pradesh. Haryana isn't one of those. So when you look at the results, remember, this is a state where the BJP had been able to make an ingress. It's not a core BJP state in that same sense.
It isn't, but it would also tell us whether You see, one of the trends of Indian politics in recent times, and we've seen it even before the Lok Sabha election, was anti-incumbency. Sure. Rajasthan, Congress lost. Chhattisgarh, Congress lost. Madhya Pradesh, BJP held, and you could argue it's a BJP-controlled state now. Karnataka, before that, BJP was in power, Congress won. Is anti-incumbency against state governments now an enduring phenomenon? Because that will also tell us that's what happens in Maharashtra, where remember there's a BJP-led alliance in power. What will happen in Jharkhand, where there's a JMM Congress alliance? I'm just saying, or Kejriwal in Delhi. Are we reaching the stage where anti-incumbency against state governments, whether 5 years, 10 years, is an enduring phenomenon? I think Haryana will give us a teaser to that. And whether the Modi factor...
But there is a big difference. The difference is, Congress governments are facing that anti-incumbency at the end of their first term. The BJP has lasted 2 terms in a state where they weren't traditionally powerful. There's a very big difference. Take any Congress state, whether it was a Rajasthan or a Chhattisgarh, 5 years later they were beaten quite badly.
Sure, but there will be worries even if the Congress is able to stage a comeback. I think the BJP can't simply say, 10 years of anti-incumbency. They will also have to look at what is changing. Is Narendra Modi, who normally lifts the BJP between 2014 and 2019, Rahul, in states like Maharashtra, for example, where again BJP was never the party number one, Mr. Modi made them party number one. After 2019, we saw a big difference where Mr. Modi alone could not lift his party. The party unit had to do it. So many will say, this election will show whether Mr. Modi can arrest anti-incumbency against the state government. The anti-incumbency is not against Mr. Modi.
But that's an unfair
The anti-incumbency is against Manohar Lal Khattar and Naib Singh Saini.
Absolutely. It wasn't the case in 2019 either. When the BJP won 10 out of 10 in 2019, the Lok Sabha election, in the assembly election soon after they struggled, they needed Dushyant Chautala. So to put this on Prime Minister Modi is an unfair proposition.
No, I'm saying, you see, because the BJP at the end of the day, even in state elections, has relied on Mr. Modi far more than their state leaders. You see, Manohar, one of the interesting things of this Haryana election, and we'll have more in a moment, Manohar Lal Khattar, Chief Minister for 9.5 years, was not even present at most of the rallies, was not even there on any of the posters. So you are relying, BJP is relying on a new Chief Minister, supported by Mr. Modi as the double engine.
But a new Chief Minister who didn't get enough time. Naib Saini came in March. Few days later, you had a model code of conduct. The Lok Sabha elections get over a few weeks later.
We have to agree, Mr. Modi is still the biggest asset the BJP has. If they start losing state governments, it shows that even despite him being an asset, if your state government is not seen to deliver or not seen to perform or is facing anti-incumbency, relying on Mr. Modi will not be enough. That's why I think Haryana becomes important. Similarly for the Congress. The Congress has to start showing that it can win states in the Hindi heartland or in North India, because except, for Himachal, we haven't seen the Congress actually win in recent years. So for the Congress, this election is critical.
Let's take our viewers through the methodology adopted for this post-poll study. There's a total sample size of 13,817, out of which 7,035 are face-to-face respondents and 6,782 are telephonic respondents. So essentially, you go out to all the 90 assembly constituencies, you meet respondents, 100-odd respondents in every seat, and then you do a follow-up with the database you already have, which is a telephonic follow-up from the state of Haryana to see whether what you're picking up on the phone is similar to what your respondents have found on the ground. The confidence interval is about 95%. We've built certain models, which we'll take you through in just a moment from now, to give you a sense of what could happen if the fight in the marginal seats really changes. So all that said and done, let's go across to Preeti Chowdhury, who will take our viewers through the vote share and the seat share for Haryana. Preeti.
All right, so let's look at how the Haryana dangal's panning out in terms of vote share, and remarkably different than what the Haryana political landscape was in 2019. At vote share, in terms of projected vote share, the Congress right now stands at 44%, up from 28.3% in 2019. Moving on to the BJP, largely holding on to its vote share of 2019. The projected vote share for the Bharatiya Janata Party now stands at 37%. That's even 0.5 up from what it was in 2019. Now, look at the others here. The others stand at 19%. This is actually as well 3% of the JJP. And mind you, the JJP, which turned as kingmaker in 2019, had a vote share of 14.8%. The projected vote share of the then kingmaker JJP is now 3.8%, which comes in where the others are concerned. The others, in terms of the INLD, the BSP, the Aam Aadmi Party, as well as the other independents, over 400 independents in the fray, together have come up with 19%, which includes the 3.8% of the JJP. The biggest difference in it all, Rajdeep and Rahul, is the others, because the Congress has picked up the vote share, at least with what we are projecting, of all what it was the others. The last time around, the others, which included the JJP and others, stood at 35% in 2019. That has now shrunk to 19%, and all of that taken, mopped up by the Congress, making it an intensely bipolar contest between the BJP and the Congress.
So what are the numbers?
Let's move on now to the projected numbers in terms of seats where each party is concerned, and this is what it looks like. Congress stands comfortably home. 50 to 58 seats projected for the Congress. The Bharatiya Janata Party down to 20 to 28 seats, and others at just 10 to 16 seats. The Congress, Mr. Hooda standing there on the right, would be very, very happy looking at this seat projection. 50 to 58 seats coming in for the Congress. The Congress, the last time around, stood at 31. It's a 50 to 58 seat projected jump for the Congress. The BJP, which was at 40, is now, in 2019, is now projected with 20 to 28 seats. The others, 10 to 16 seats. The last time in itself, the JJP was at 10 seats. But now, JJP, INLD, Aam Aadmi Party, and all the independents getting no more than 10 to 16 seats. And that's what it points out towards, Rajdeep. An intensely bipolar contest. What's interesting is the BJP holds on to its vote share, actually even marginally goes up by 0.5%, but in terms of seats, dramatic fall, at least with what is being projected right now.
That's right, and a dramatic rise also in the Congress's vote share. Remember, the Congress was at 28% vote share last time. It goes up to 44, Rahul, which is 16% up. Where does it get the vote share? Not from the BJP. But what we expected, the decline of the regional parties, independents, remember, and others were 18% last time. JJP was 14, INLD was almost 2.5. So add the three, you add about 35%. That has shrunk to 19, and the Congress goes up by 16. It's a simple arithmetical election.
The BJP holds on, despite 10 years of anti-incumbency, the BJP holds on to and marginally increases its vote share from 36.5% in the last election to 37.2%. That's 0.7% up, despite being in power for 10 years. The story of the elections is that Dushyant Chautala, because he tied up with the BJP, despite having got all the Jat votes on an anti-BJP campaign, has lost legitimacy in the eyes of the voters of Haryana. His vote share has crashed from 14.8 to 3.8. That's down 11%. And that is largely the gain the Congress has seen with their vote share going up a total of 16%. So you can play these games, Amitabh Tiwari. You can fool the voter once. You cannot fool the voter again and again. That's the story of the Haryana post-poll study.
Yeah, so essentially in 2019, JJP got 31% of Jat votes. It divided the Jat land or the Jat influenced seats into three-way split between the BJP, the Congress and the JJP and others. And as you have said, the Jat community has gone back to the Congress party. So this 31% of Jat vote means 6-7% votes.
This was part of the engineering of the BJP. It shows this too much jugaad and engineering doesn't work.
Well, it was also about, Devi Lalji's family holding on to, the last clutches of Haryana politics. But this decline of both Abhay Chautala, Dushyant Chautala started off 3-4 years back. They have been consistently coming down and losing public support.
No,
they were
But
not
no, Rajat Sethi,
Look at
the
Mehbooba
decline
in
of
Jammu
the
and
JJP
Kashmir.
has solely come.
Look at
So
Mehbooba in
anybody,
Jammu and
anybody who is alive with the
It's
BJP will not be able
the
to go out
JJP
and
The
absolutely.
JJP today is the PDP of Jammu and Kashmir.
True, that's
you tied
what-
up with the Bharatiya Janata Party and the JJP situation exactly the same. Where the INLD is concerned, in 2019, Rajat, the JJP had broken away from the INLD, which was seen as a corrupt and a party which were, they're called lathets in Haryana, basically muscle men. It broke up from that. It was a party with a young leader. A lot of people in Haryana, especially the Jat community, saw Mr. Chautala, which is Dushyant Chautala, as a representation of that. They voted for him on the account of that, of representation. And then being let down in the eyes of not just the Jat community, a lot of others also allied with the INLD.
Preeti, what you're saying, I think the bigger picture will be this. If this trend continues, this is one election, 2024, one election where the regional parties, INLD and JJP, they were part of one alliance. This was a very strong, I look at the numbers of just 2014. In 2014, when they were united, they had almost 25% of the vote and they won 19 seats. They were a party which won 47 seats and were in a majority in 2000. In 20 years, if a regional party now goes into decline and it becomes bipolar, then Haryana's politics changes forever. Because then it means that you're going to have to, you can't win an election only by winning the Jat vote or only winning it purely by the OBC vote. These are the two, the Dalit vote, 22%. If these numbers are right, the Congress seems to have got a substantial portion because this is the highest percentage, if our numbers hold, that the Congress has got in the last 25 years, 44%.
Even more than the 2005 election.
That's right.
Which was seen as a tectonic election for the Congress.
Which would mean that it is not just a Jat consolidation,
It means
but
an
it is
Ahirwal
Jat,
consolidation.
but a Jat and
a Yadav
Dalit.
Ahirwal consolidation, Raj.
And also Dalit, you see, and this is the one factor, Rahul, of 2024 Lok Sabha, which stands out for me. I've just finished writing a book and I've been looking for factors to explain it. It is a 5% change in the Dalit vote that took place, which went to the Congress. In Haryana, with a 22% Dalit vote, if they start getting it, mainly possibly Chamar vote, but if they get it,
Rajdeep,
and the BJP's one-point agenda the last
Rajdeep,
week, I've been looking at all the papers of Haryana. BJP's one-point agenda was attack the Congress on the Dalit vote. Kumari Shelja has been discriminated against. The Dalit leaders never get their due. That, if these numbers hold...
Rajdeep, can I say something? A jump of 15.7%, which is nearly 16% in vote share, hasn't just come because of the Jat and Dalit combined. Because I'll tell you why.
Sure,
this will need a sizable shift from the Yadav Ahirwal community towards the Congress to add to this.
That will depend, of course, on where they get their seats.
Preeti, that happened already in the Lok Sabha.
Exactly.
Congress got 51% OBC votes.
That means 2024 Lok Sabha wasn't quite an aberration. Then
So
it is
what
only
we'll do is we'll
consolidation.
show our viewers the caste and community breakup for Haryana, which will give you a sense of where these votes are coming from. And if you start looking at the numbers, remember on the one side you'll see a strong Jat consolidation. Last time the Jat vote got split between the Congress and the JJP. This time there's been a strong Jat consolidation. There's also a Dalit consolidation. Remember, you had an effort being made where the INLD had tied up with the BSP. You had the JJP tying up with the ASP of Chandrasekhar Azad Ravan, and therefore the question was, would the Dalit vote get split? That hasn't happened either. So those are the factors that have played, which really have led to the Congress ending up between 50 to 58, the BJP between 20 to 28, others between 10 and 16. I'll take you through who the preferred choice for Chief Minister in the state of Haryana is. So if we ask the question, who do you want as the next Chief Minister of Haryana, and look at the overall data, it is interesting to see how Deepinder Singh Hooda, Senior Hooda, comes up right on top. Deepinder Singh Hooda coming up right on top, and I'm going across different categories. Even if I look at gender, if I look at age groups, if I look at education, income, social groups, location, regions, across all the regions of Haryana, it is Deepinder Singh Hooda who is getting in the mid-30s, substantially higher than Nayab Saini. 31% for Senior Hooda, 22% for Nayab Saini. You get 10% for Deepinder Hooda, which if you add takes it to 41%.
He's very happy looking at that.
5% for
This
Kumari
poster,
Shelja.
this now at the Hooda household, they've just taken a screenshot of this. Because they're going to add 31 and 10 and say we have 41 and Kumari Shelja is 5%.
No, but
all
that's,
of you,
but that's
all
unfair.
of, all of
Because
you in the
Kumari
media are projecting her. No, that's...
who's projecting her?
No. In the BJ, there has been a battle within a battle. Kaun banega Mukhyamantri?
No, she's projecting herself. You don't need anybody
nobody
else to
else is
project her.
Let me be
She's
fair.
projecting herself, Rajdeep.
Ma'am, the fact is typical Congress style. Even though Mr. Hooda is at the front, back and center of this election, when you ask congressman who will become, High Command decide karega. Now, when you see these numbers, it's very clear this election, for better or worse, has been fought under Mr. Hooda's name. Kumari Shelja was...
Why better or worse? For better, I mean, they've got the highest vote share in a direct battle
for
against
better or
the
worse is a
Just
way
a
of saying.
metaphor.
So,
Okay.
essentially, Mr. Hooda has fought. When he looks at these numbers, it'll only confirm what he's been saying. Ye chunav mere naam pe lada gaya hai. If I had lost, I would have taken the responsibility. Sure. If I win, I must get
the fact is, Rajdeep, one thing needs to be said very clearly. Where Haryana is concerned, Deepinder Hooda is the undisputed mass leader, most accepted. Kumari Shelja, sadly speaking, is now restricted to 2 or 3 seats where the Sirsa belt is concerned. Even in terms of being a Dalit icon, she really isn't looked at that.
Even in Lok Sabha election, Deepinder Hooda had a veto almost in Sirsa and like a couple of other seats. And then he was able to pull his entire weight and win those seats as well.
Can I just make this point? You have to trust someone and let him do his
it.
job.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you've got, this khichdi where everybody can decide what to do, then nobody's in charge. Which is what happened in 2019 in Haryana.
No, exactly. 2019, Kumari Shelja, just a few weeks before the election, was suddenly made Haryana Pradesh Congress president. Ashok Tawar then left, who suddenly come back in a master stroke, as they are now calling it, with 1 hour left for polling to end. But what I find interesting is the Congress party's biggest problem has always been Kaun Banega Mukhyamantri, even when they win. Rajasthan, they won. Gehlot versus Pilot became a fractious battle that almost lasted the full 5 years. In Chhattisgarh, apparently there was a deal 2.5 years between Baghel, T.S. Singhdeo. Eventually, Mr. Singhdeo didn't get it. In Karnataka, we are seeing it playing out now. Siddharamaiah versus Shiv Kumar. But this is one of the few states, and I can't recall since Rajshekhar Reddy in 2009, where the Congress has gone into an election almost certain. The media is speculating.
But are you telling me, Rajdeep, are you telling me almost certain that Deepinder Hooda will be the CM face? But are you telling me that there is no room for a deputy CM as a Dalit face?
Look,
are you actually telling me that? Because I think the Congress will look at changing social equations here and get a deputy.
You're right. All I'm saying is, I don't recall last when the Congress has put all its eggs in one regional Satrap's basket. They've done it in Hooda's. They've given him the choice of who he wanted as the Pradesh Congress chief. They've given his son also space. And this is the same. Look at how politics changes. 5 years ago, Mr. Hooda was almost ready to leave the Congress. He was so angry.
Threatening to form his own party.
And form his own party. A year later, he became part of the so-called G23. Eventually, he was the one wooed by Sonia Gandhi back saying, look, you go ahead. Focus on Haryana, we will give you full support. I don't recall when this party, which is so divided and likes to play one leader against the other, at least in Haryana, has had, some would say, the common sense. Let's put our eggs in one basket rather than
I just rang up one of the important leaders. He's calling me again. But anyway, one second. I want to go across to Zayyad Zafar Islam of the BJP. He joins us now. Islam Saab, from the BJP's perspective, it's not looking good. 22% popularity of Nayab Saini, the BJP coming to only between 20 and 28 is not looking good for the BJP at all. It seems it's the Hoodas and the Congress all the way in Haryana.
Well, you were debating that Bharatiya Janata Party has not lost vote percentage. Rahul, Bharatiya Janata Party has not lost percentage, rather it has improved its number from 36.5 to 37%. That itself says that our governance model for the last 10 years have been very well accepted by the people of Haryana, and we are very confident that once the result is out on 8th, we will be able to form the government. While of course we respect all the numbers which have been shown by the agency which has done survey for you, but our own survey suggests that we will be able to form our government in Haryana.
What is your survey saying, sir? What are your numbers, if I may ask? Are you saying you'll get over 45?
We were not overall, or not only over 45, it is over 50.
Okay.
So we are confident that we will get at least 52 seats in Haryana.
I want to go across
And
to
that is
Anil
primary.
Vij.
That
Anil
is
Vij
primary.
joins us. He's been a rebel in the BJP. Anil Vij साहब, नंबर तो दिखा रहे हैं कि हुडा और कांग्रेस जीत रही है, बीजेपी का तो काफी बुरा हाल है हरियाणा में।
नहीं देखिए, इंतजार कीजिए, 8 तारीख का इंतजार कीजिए। ये जो प्रोडक्शन की गई है, ये कई बार गलत साबित और इस बार भी गलत साबित।
नहीं, आपकी विज साहब, आपको आप इतने आश्वस्त क्यों हैं जब हर पोल मैं देख रहा हूं, हर चैनल में जितने पोल हो रहे हैं सब कांग्रेस को आगे दिखा रहे हैं, कोई भी पोल बीजेपी को आगे नहीं दिखा रहा।
नहीं देखिए, पहले भी हुआ था, लोकसभा में भी यही हुआ था, सारे गलत साबित हो गए थे। उससे पहले भी हुआ, जो 5 सीटों के चुनाव हुए थे, मैं तो सारे देखता हूँ, कभी भी ठीक नहीं।
पर अनिल जी, बात तो ये है, बात ये थी कि क्योंकि ये कांग्रेस को बहुत कहा जाता है कि इनके बीच में ही लड़ाई रहती है, बात ये थी कि बीजेपी यूनाइटेड नहीं थी। अमित शाह जी ने हाथ उठाया, नायब सैनी का आपने हाथ उठाया कि मैं भी सीएम, तो बहुत इन फाइटिंग थी। और जो आपकी सीट में है, नंबर ये भी दिखा रहे हैं अनिल विज जी, टाइट फाइट है, और वो भी इंडिपेंडेंट चित्रा जी के साथ।
देखिए, यहाँ पर मैं भारी मतों से जीत रहा हूँ, आप एक बूथ की बेहतर चर्चा कर लीजिए।
अभी भी अपने आप को सीएम कैंडिडेट मान रहे हैं?
नहीं, अगर पार्टी बनाएगी तो बनूंगा, इनकार नहीं करूंगा, मैंने यही कहा।
पर पार्टी ने तो डिक्लेयर कर दिया अनिल विज जी कि नायब सैनी के उसमें नेतृत्व में चुनाव है, वही सीएम बनेंगे।
नहीं, मैंने फिर भी कहा कि कई बार पार्टी सोचती है, अगर दोबारा सोचती है और मुझको ऑफर देती है तो मैं इनकार नहीं करूंगा। मैंने इतनी सी बात कही है कि जो ये बताया गया कि अनिल विज बनना नहीं चाहता, मैंने उस बात को क्लैरिफाई की है कि ऐसी बात नहीं है। अगर पार्टी मुझे बनाएगी तो मैं बनूंगा।
अगर पार्टी बनाएगी, लेकिन क्या आप मानते हैं कहीं पार्टी ने गलती कर दी अनिल विज साहब की? कई सालों तक मनोहर लाल खट्टर के चेहरे पर लड़ी, आज उन्हीं का चेहरा किसी पोस्टर पे नहीं, स्पीच। क्या अगर बदलाव करना था, अगर आपको मुख्यमंत्री बनाना था या नायब सैनी को अगर 1 साल पहले बनाते तो स्थिति और बेहतर होती?
देखिए, जो हाईकमांड करती है, हमारा सोचने का दायरा बहुत है।
नहीं, पर क्या आप मानते हैं कि अगर बदलाव, अगर मुख्यमंत्री चेहरा 1 साल पहले बदलती तो और भी फर्क पड़ता?
अब कब क्या करना है, ये हमारी पार्टी में ये सारा अधिकार हाईकमांड के, ये हमारे पास नहीं होता।
नहीं, आपको क्या लगता है? आप तो इतने बड़े अनुभवी नेता हैं, आपको क्या लगता है?
नहीं, मैं फिर भी यही कहूंगा कि हाईकमांड का निर्णय है।
पर अनिल जी, चलिए एक बात बता दीजिए, आप बहुत ऑनेस्ट रहते हैं, हर चीज डंके की चोट पे बोलते हैं, ये चीज बताइए, अगर ये नंबर होल्ड करते हैं, बाबा भी कहते हैं आपको अंबाला में, तो बाबा जी ये बताइए, अगर ये नंबर होल्ड करते हैं तो फिर क्या बड़ी गलती हो गई बीजेपी से? एक बड़ी गलती बता दीजिए कि ये हो गई इसीलिए ये नंबर हुए।
देखिए, पहले तो ये है नहीं, और अगर ये होगा तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी हमेशा विश्लेषण करती है, हम विश्लेषण करेंगे। फिर अभी से का विश्लेषण कर, अभी तो हम इस बात का विश्लेषण कर रहे हैं कि जो ये पोल आया है, एग्जिट पोल, ये ठीक हुआ है नहीं हुआ, क्या इसका फार्मूला था, क्या इनका पैमाना था, किस ढंग से इन्होंने सेट किया, कितने लोगों से इन्होंने इंटरव्यू की, कितना इनका फीडबैक था, अभी तो हम ये सेट कर रहे हैं। अभी तो इसी पर ही मैं प्रोसेस चिन्ह लगा रहा हूँ।
आपको लग रहा है ये पोल गलत है और आप अभी भी जीत रहे हो, सरकार बन रही है आपकी, ये आपको लग रहा है विज साहब?
देखिए, हम तो देखिए, मैंने कहीं बाहर मैं अभी नहीं असेस कर सकता। तो माहौल मैं अम्बाला छावनी में देख रहा हूँ, मैं उससे दावे से कह सकता हूँ कि हरियाणा में भारतीय जनता पार्टी सरकार। एक चावल
नहीं, ये छोड़ो ना, मेरा सवाल अलग है। आप अम्बाला कैंट का मुझे बता रहे हो, आप इतने सीनियर लीडर हो विज साहब, आप इतने हरियाणा के भाजपा के सीनियर लीडर हो, मैं सीधा सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ, क्या आपको लग रहा है बीजेपी की हरियाणा में सरकार बन रही है कि नहीं?
बनेगी।
और आप मुख्यमंत्री बनेंगे
नहीं मुझे तो आप देखिए मेरा पुराना बयान है, ये मैंने कहा था कि मुझे तो जहां खड़ा कर देंगे मैं वहीं के छक्के मारूंगा। मैंने पहले कहा था, जब बयान दिया था आपके रिकॉर्ड में, मुझे तो जहां खड़ा कर देंगे, अगर मुख्यमंत्री बनाएंगे तो मैं करके दिखाऊंगा कि मुख्यमंत्री क्या।
Okay, Tehseen Poonawalla of the Congress, of leaning towards the Congress, also joins us. Tehseen, this is good news. In a straight-on BJP versus Congress battle, if the Congress is able to get 43% odd vote, bringing the BJP, leaving the BJP where it was in the last election, but being able to best the BJP, the Congress would be very enthused by these numbers.
Good evening, Rahul. Thank you once again. And you remember about a week and a half ago, I was on your show from Haryana, and I told you I was working in Haryana, and I told you a week and a half ago, Congress is crossing 55 plus, and I said, I will come to you on 4th. I've kept my promise. 8:30, I'm here. I am telling you this numbers. Please record it. Congress is 61 in Haryana. This is my number for the Congress. In fact, Anil Vijay was speaking in Ambala, which has 4 assembly seats. Anil Vijay will win his assembly seat. But the rest 3, which is Ambala is a strong BJP hold. Congress is winning 3 out of 4 in Ambala as well. Ambala can't, of course, Anil G will win. Even in Gurugram, which is a strong BJP hold, it's going to be a split. So Congress is doing exceedingly well. I see the Congress anything between 58 and 61. I place my bets on 61, Rahul.
Zafar Islam sahab, isse mahal nahi kharab hoga Maharashtra ka. If these are the numbers, if the BJP is 20 to 28, Congress will say, this is the trend. Now, earlier, the BJP had the ability to set the narrative. Now, the Congress has also learned some of those same tricks. They'll say, boss, jo Haryana mein aur Maharashtra, Jharkhand mein bhi same hoga. How will you counter that?
Well, Rahul, first of all, it is very difficult for me to even admit this number, what number your survey has shown, 50 to 58% for Congress party. Because our survey suggests, and our survey is much larger in terms of number of people we interact. So our number suggests, sample survey is very large, and that suggests that we will be definitely getting at least 52 seats. So it is just if I would speculate, if I accept this number and respond to your.
So with due regard, have you changed your surveyor after the elections or not? Because, your surveyors, like all surveyors, also got it wrong.
You've changed your surveyor.
I'm asking the BJP. Has the BJP changed its surveyor now?
Rajit, unlike you people engage an agency, in our case, it is Panna Pramukh who provides information and the feedback to the leadership. And based on that...
So you are saying this is based on Panna Pramukh information?
No.
Absolutely. So based on Panna Pramukh's
so
feedback...
can we do that scenario building for a moment? No, one second, Sadhu. I'll just do some scenario building and I'll explain what we're doing before I put out the data. In any poll, there are seats where in the sample that you conduct, the gap between the winner and the runner-up is less than 5%. And typically, pollsters would plot those seats against a particular party, which is in some senses estimation, or you can be disparaging and call it jugaad. But that's essentially what happens. So what we'll do is we'll show you 2 scenarios outside of the one that you've already seen, which is called a marginal seat analysis. So in scenario 1, if all marginal seats go to the anti-incumbent, which is the Congress could end up between 59 and 67 seats. So the upper range, if the stadium is such that all the balls are going in favor of the Congress, then 59 to 67 for the Congress. The BJP's worst day on the 8th could be 13 to 21.
And marginal is 3%, less than 3%?
5%. And if all the marginal seats go to the pro-incumbent, which is the BJP, then the Congress could end up between 43 and 51, and the BJP could end up between 30 and 38. So those are the 2 scenarios. We're putting it out so that you just have that sense as well in terms of what can potentially change beyond the numbers. But the big projection is Congress at 50 to 58, BJP 20 to 28. And I want to go across now, live and exclusive, to one of the big heroes of this victory. If and when it does happen on the 8th, they've really run a very spirited campaign, Rajdeep.
The Hoodas?
The Hoodas.
Yeah, undoubtedly, as I said, over 5 years, look at how politics has changed. Deepinder Singh Hooda, and he kept saying this was his big crib, that had he been given more time in 2019, he might have turned the election round. This time he's been given at least the last 2 years, if not more. And if these numbers are right, at the age of 77, along with Deepinder, his son, who won by the second highest margin in North India after Rahul Gandhi.
So just,
the Hoodas are back in business.
The Hoodas are back in business, it seems, and the man who's been running, in fact, on the last day of campaigning, this image went viral of a young Deepinder Hooda running like crazy to his chopper so that he could get there. He's been out in the field the last several months leading this campaign along with his father. He's smiling already. Are the firecrackers going? Has Diwali come early to the Hooda household?
Thank you, Rahul, for having me. See, I think the people of the Diwali will come early for the people of Haryana, because people of Haryana have been waiting to bring in a change. 10 years of misgovernance by the BJP has seen the Haryana story getting derailed. BJP has no achievement on its side after 10 years of government, apart from the fact that they tried to divide the society and to exploit the division in the society for their own political benefit. They did not do anything good for the state at all. And now I think the reports that we are getting from across Haryana today, the mandate is very clear. It will be a decisive victory for the Congress party. I am very confident of that.
But Deepinder Hooda, if this mandate is what it is as per our polls, is this a mandate for the Congress or is it a mandate against the BJP? BJP's vote share is holding, but it appears the JJP, INLD vote collapsing and coming to you. Is it that you have become a default option for all the anti-incumbency? It's not that people are voting for the Congress. They've chosen to vote out the BJP. BJP जा रही है, Congress आ रही है, उसका फायदा हुआ है.
It's both. What you are saying, it's both. It's vote against the BJP also, and it is also vote in favor of the Congress. See, the Congress party has had put its house in order this time, learning from some of the things organizationally that we were not very. We were not at our best organizationally last time, and we missed out on the opportunity of bringing in a change even in 2019 where there was an opportunity. This time the Congress had its house in order, and I'm very thankful to the central leadership of the Congress party. Especially I'm very thankful to Rahul ji and to Kharge ji and our central leadership. Our central leadership took a decision to
Deepinder ji, you say you were not strong organizationally in 2019. Deepinder ji, you say you were not strong in 2019, rightly so. Lots of changes had taken place. Kumari Shailja was made the president last minute. All of that had happened. They didn't go with your party. This time around, even till this morning, Deepinder ji, the likes of Kumari Shailja were coming out and making statements which could be borderline anti-party. Do you think that was correct?
No, I think no one has made any statement which is anti-party. Everybody has contributed to the strength, to the added strength to the Congress party, and I think it is because everybody has contributed that we are doing so well in Haryana. In Lok Sabha elections, like you saw, Haryana recorded the highest vote share for the opposition across India, across 28 states. It could not have been possible just on account of like singular effort of one leader or the other. It's a combined effort of all the state leaders, and it is also the credit must go to the central leadership and how the central leadership has steered Haryana this time. And to answer your original question, Rajdeep, like what you said, that is it just the default? See, it is not the default anti-incumbency coming to the Congress. People have seen the 10 years of good governance by the Congress led by Deepinder Singh Hooda ji, and when people were presented with an options of, that's the reason why all the regional parties have completely lost out, because people remember that as a good period across caste, community, regions. People recognize that as a good period for Haryana, and that is why Congress has been is able to get traction amongst all caste, communities and regions this time. And
but would you agree? But would you agree that one big change between 2019 and 24. 2019, Congress was not sure kaun banega Mukhyamantri or who will be projected as leader. There were divisions, which you've said are organizational. But would you agree that this time, whether it's whether it's ticket distribution, whether it's projection, whether it is planning, you went on a yatra, Mr. Hooda, your father went on a yatra, there was clarity that the Hoodas are running the show. There are other leaders, no doubt, but the focus was on father and son. Would you agree that that was one big difference between 24 and 2019?
See, 2019, one of the big factors, what I meant by organizationally, one of the big factors was that we were not very confident ourselves, and I don't think we put our best foot forward in 2019. That was one of the key factors. In 2024, we started our preparations 2 years back when our central leadership appointed Shri Uday Bhanji as our PCC president, and for the last 2 years, Congress has been in the field fighting it out, and so I think we worked really hard. That's one of the difference between 2019 and 2024. Clarity in terms of now who's leading and who's not. I think that is a Congress fights any election. So Congress fights any election collectively. We have fought a election collectively. All our leaders. Our leader of opposition is Hooda ji. Our PCC president is Uday Bhanji. And there are big contributions from all the senior leaders. And now our aim was to bring in a change in Haryana. I am very confident that we have achieved that aim today, as will be known to the nation on the day of counting. And after the results are out and we get the numbers, then the rest of the questions will be answered in a fashion which is the due process of the Congress party.
Okay.
So
now, Deepender, one second.
Comprehensively answer your question.
Sure. This question has been asked to Bade Hooda Sahab, and I want our producers to pull out the data. Who is the #1 choice to be chief minister? There, Bhupender Hooda comes up at #1 at 31%. The interesting thing there is that Deepinder Hooda comes in at 3 at 10%, right behind Nayab Saini. Now, how do you see this? Bade Hooda Sahab se kai baar sawal pucha gaya ki, are you planning political succession in a way that somewhere mid-term that you hand over the political baton to Deepu? And he said, "Dekho, janta ko tay karna hai. How can I decide?"
He told me not tired, not retired. He want me to retire. He said not tired, not retired.
So here's the question: how do you see this question? You obviously are very passionate about state politics. You worked hard across the state. Of course, right now, Bhupender Hooda will most likely be the chief minister if the Congress High Command has good sense, and there's no reason to believe that they won't. How do you see this question? Is Deepinder Hooda preparing to be chief minister? Would you like to be chief minister one day? Will there be a mid-term switch? How do you yourself see this question? Yeah, I googly ab dekhte hain aapka jawab.
नहीं मेरा बड़ा इसमें मैं स्पष्ट जवाब दे देता हूँ. There is a due process that the Congress party follows wherever Congress party gets the mandate from the people. There is a due process that the Congress party has been following for decades, and this is the same process which will be followed in Haryana. I can tell you, like you're saying that we will, as per your polls, we are going to form the government. Once we have the numbers, the CLP meeting will be called. Observers will be sent from Delhi. The observers, they get a sense from all the elected MLAs. They get their opinions, and that sense is then conveyed to the central leadership of the Congress party, and then central leadership of the Congress party takes the decision in their own wisdom on who should get what responsibility to run a good government for the Congress party in that state. This is a process which has always been followed by the Congress party. This is a process which will be followed by the Congress party, and all your answers are going to be the answers that this process, how this process unfolds. as far as I am
Deepinder
concerned,
ji,
people have, elected me to the Lok Sabha by a big mandate, and that's a very big, already a very, very big, responsibility on my shoulders.
but Deepinder ji, in your opinion, do you think the state and even the Congress is now ready to have a deputy? Because there has been an image issue where Haryana was concerned that Congress is a Jaton ka party, maybe to get a Dalit deputy.
Congress is a party that is representing all the sections of society. As far as deputy concerned, or chief minister or deputy chief minister, or who gets what responsibilities, I think I have laid out the process, and that process will unfold, and you will get your answers through that process.
How do you respond, Deepinder ji, to criticism that when the Hoodas are made in charge, ये मनमर्जी करते हैं, बाकियों को space नहीं देते? Like DK Shiv Kumar and Siddaramaiah in Karnataka would fight behind the scenes, fight all night, but in the morning they would hold each other's hands and say, yo, go Congress. Now the criticism is that yes, you were given a free run to do things the way you guys wanted, and that's how you did it. But the likes of Kumari Shelja made very clear through multiple interviews, including to us, that they were not happy, that बातचीत नहीं हो रही, उनको, they have no say. How do you respond कि ये मनमर्जी करते हैं, दूसरों को जगह नहीं देते?
See, now as far as if that question pertains to the ticket distribution, then again there is a laid out process for ticket distribution in our party also. There is a screening committee which is appointed by the AICC that shortlists and forms panels and takes it to the Central Election Committee, which is CEC, wherein the central leadership are part of that CEC, including the Congress president and both the former Congress presidents and all other senior leaders. And eventually the CEC is empowered to take the decisions as far as the ticket distribution is concerned. So there is no question of anyone in a state denying anyone else the space as far as the ticket distribution is concerned. And I think and again going forward also there is a defined process. Congress in this sense is a much more democratic party than the BJP, and I think that's one of the strengths that the Congress party has. And I think going forward also, once we get the numbers, there is a process which I have decided.
आखिरी सवाल दीपिंदर जी, अगर आप जीतते हैं, even Rahul Gandhi had mentioned it on Twitter, will you celebrate with Gohana ke jaleb?
Of course.
अरे हमें भी भेज देना भाई, थोड़ी जलेबी थी, जलेबी नहीं
जलेबी नहीं है, हरियाणा में जलेब मिलता है.
No, what Deepinder Singh Hooda gave me, he said you have had churma everywhere, you try my churma. I must confess, it was excellent. You see, usually winners are more generous with sweets, but the sweets I got from Deepinder Singh, and he's the young man is, he's smiling now. Young man is not a patch on his dad when it comes to hospitality. Sorry to say.
क्यों नाम खराब कर रहे हो उसका?
Older.
That's not true.
No,
That's not true.
Older क्या बोल रहा है आपके बारे में?
नहीं दीपिंदर जी, this I don't agree with. अब दिखाना पड़ेगा. एक डब्बा जलेब राजदीप को भेजिए.
Older generation of politics खाते पीते थे.
No, he's right.
To fitness.
No, Rajdeep is right. See, Rajdeep is right. Senior Hooda Saab is matchless when it comes to many things.
Now you're being. I'm not trying to create a divide in the family. You have a lot of skills which you also can teach your father. I'm sure. यार देखो, बाप तो बाप होता है, as Amitabh Bachchan would say. Rajdeep,
I made that statement with a very proud heart. Of course, I mean, I'm very proud of the fact that, certain things in, that Senior Hooda Saab is quite matchless in certain aspects, and I aspired and I am always inspired by him. So,
but one question that comes, Deepinder Bhai,
So
one question comes that, Rahul mentioned this earlier, which is that, which maybe is something that your Rahul needs to look at. How is it that the Congress never repeats, once they come into government, after 5 years they get voted out? Haryana was an exception, I know.
10 years, Uttaji, sir.
You were 10 years, but by and large we've seen that pattern. What is the new thing that you are offering? I come back to it. Are you only a default option? What is the new thing that you will offer to Haryana that Naib Singh Saini or Manohar Lal Khattar could not? Give me the one thing that you will change if you come to power.
I think the Congress is going to be a government that belongs to all the people of Haryana. That's and I think that's a commitment that Rahul ji made to the people of Haryana in each and every political rally that he addressed in Haryana, not just during the elections, but during the Bharat Jodo Yatra also. Haryana has been one of the experiments that the BJP did by creating a huge rift in our society. Haryana was never like this before. They tried to, not just the religion rift, in which they discriminated against the minorities, be it the Sikhs or the Muslims, but they also created a rift in our social caste patterns by, coining the slogans such as 35 versus 1 and all these slogans, Jat versus non-Jat. And so I think those, if you try to create rift in society and exploit that for your political benefit, that's not in benefit of the state or the country.
Okay,
and I think Haryana,
the Congress
is first and most important.
When Ashok Tawar was earlier in the Congress, there was a sense that he gets too much bhav from the central high command, that his position is elevated relative to his ground worth. Did you know that he's coming back? What do you make of the fact that he's back? Or did it come as a surprise? Suddenly he pops up on the stage just hours before campaigning ends?
No. We were quite involved in, we were having a conversation with him, and he made the right decision at the right time. His coming back to the Congress is going to further strengthen the Congress party in Haryana.
Okay, he's pressing all the right buttons. He could well be doing an interview for the Indian Foreign Services as a diplomatic corps officer at this rate. But Deepinder Singh Hooda has reason to celebrate. If these post-poll numbers are right, it would be Deepavali come early for the Congress, for the Hooda family, and also the fact that in a direct battle between the BJP and the Congress, to have a 15% gap is hats off for the battle that they've run, if this is correct.
Just a piece of trivia. While we speak of Bhupinder Hooda and Deepinder Hooda, I think very few know that Bhupinder ji's father was in the first Constituent Assembly, 1948. So it's 3 generations who've been in different, and I think he's been one of the few leaders who's been Constituent Assembly, Vidhan Sabha and Lok Sabha. So I don't know too many like that. And he used to come, even at the age he was 98, he would come with his walking stick erect. Right? Sorry? He was 98 or 100, and he would come to Central Hall of Parliament. Very erect, very straight. So there's lots that you can learn from your grandfather as well. Sorry, you were saying something.
Rajdeep, he was the youngest member of the Constituent Assembly, and then not just the 3 houses, he has a, he holds a record of being elected member of 7 different houses: Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Constituent Assembly, Provisional Parliament, then Punjab Vidhan Sabha and Haryana Vidhan Sabha, because at that time we were one Suba, the joint Punjab. So yes, so I mean,
Deepinder ji, do you hold the ambition of being the youngest Chief Minister of Haryana?
Preeti, go ahead, say it again. He can't listen.
I heard her. See, as far as ambition is concerned, with one ambition I returned back from America. That was to serve the people of my state and serve the people of this great nation. And every day, last 20 years back, I returned from America, and for 20 years I've been blessed. I am in Parliament. I took oath in Parliament for the 5th time, and for these last 20 years, every day I'm fulfilling my ambition of serving the people of this great nation.
Okay, we'll leave it there for the time being. Let's not all celebrate
Very
just at the moment.
I don't remember this exit poll day.
Very non-Jat-like. This could have been a
non-
politically incorrect. Usually Jats are known to be politically incorrect. But he's been so politically correct and spot on with
new
what
face
with all
of the
his
Jat
responses.
generation. Okay.
It's only an exit poll. I must warn you, the churma and the, what do you call it?
Jaleb.
Gohar ka jaleb will have to be kept for the 8th. Today it's only a teaser. You can send us, what do you call it? Appetizer today.
Thank you, Deepinder ji. Thank you.
Sure, but I'll
Wish you
be,
all yes.
I'll try to better my father in hospitality, Rajdeep, for you this time.
Arre wah!
Now you made Rajdeep
what
thoda very happy.
Yes. Okay, we'll wait and see.
Thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations on what the post-poll data is suggesting. As we said, let's just wait till the 8th to be sure that this is absolutely correct. Yashwant Deshmukh, before we wrap up Haryana, what can change? That's the big question. Ye itna excited ho rahe hain, mowar jaleb bhi kha rahe, churma bhi kha rahe. What can change?
And the reason for that is, if you recall, 5 years ago, many pollsters got it wrong in Haryana.
We got it right.
We got it right that time, but could anything, what is different between then and now?
I think last time the problem was that even though BJP was leading over Congress by almost 10% point, it became hung because the opposition vote was scattered in that way, and it did not
the JJP factor.
The JJP factor. But this time, one thing is very clear. I think the polarization of the anti-BJP vote is very clear in the data. So even if you look into the marginal seats, Rajdeep, you will realize that you take all the marginal seats away from the Congress, still you are looking at a majority number for the Congress.
Right.
So what we are looking at probably is a probability of a simple majority to a sweep for the Congress.
So it's a more bipolar compared to 2019.
It's more of a much more bipolar.
That's the big difference.
Between the BJP and the Congress, the last time they polled roughly about 60% votes, 65%. 35% went to others. This time it is almost reaching like 85%.
Okay, that's the big difference.